First things first, I want to apologize to all of you guys because the last episode I uploaded, episode 182, took too long to upload. I had some errands I had to take care of and messed up. Uh, I normally use when I edit my stuff, I have two phones. The one right here is my phone that I normally is no longer active, but I use that for video purposes. And I forgot to bring in a thumb drive to upload it to either my tablet or my other phone, the one I actively used. So I apologize for that. But today is a great, interesting day. As you know, we get to review Stardom's latest event, Hiroshima Goddess Festival. We have some interesting, good matches. I have to say, so the last few ones were amazing to watch. We even got New Japan Pro Wrestling with Battle Atom on day 15. And of course, we have once again the return, finally, Major League Wrestling with Battle Riot 4, which is a battle royal that gives the opportunity for a chance of the MLW World Championship. We even got, of course, Impact Wrestling. As you know, we're building up to Overdrive, but a lot of interesting developments took place in this particular event. And also, there will be a news updates to talk about certain debuts on certain promotions that are coming out, first time ever, uh, updates with GCW, and many more. So, let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome, everybody, to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, Gerard here. So, let's begin with Stardom's latest pay per view, Hiroshima Goddess Festival. This one took place recently on November 3rd, which is today. It opened up with a pre open show. It was originally supposed to be a three-way tag match, but Momokogo was unavailable due to poor condition. I'm going to assume either she contracted COVID 19 or so, but it did not. It was supposed to be, of course, Hina and no, 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 Azumi and Mayumi Saki versus Saya Ida and Momokogo versus Lady C and Waka, formerly of Moon C. But it became a five-way match. And the one thing that's messed up is there was three members of Queen's Quest involved. It was unfair. But I have to say this match had some good moments with Waka involved. Of course, she once again was almost on the verge of picking up her first win, but unfortunately Azumi pulled off the win with a bridge, giving her the win. Now, our next match, we have tag team action. We have Oedo Tai, Ruka, and Saki Kashima taking on the former tag team champions, and of course, last year's Goddess Tag League winners, FWC, Koguma, and Azuki. Now, you probably would have thought this match would have been a cakewalk, yes. But one thing I did like, now keep in mind, Saki Kashima knows how to pick up some good pinfalls. But however, she had to keep up the pace with the high speed genius Koguma until Koguma applied the Kuma roll. 1, 2, 3, they picked up the win. Next up, we have an interesting powerhouse match. We have Yuna Manaze and, of course, Himeka. This match was more of a powerhouse base, and I did like how Yuna Mizumori pulled off a big lariat, or as she calls it, the tropical lariat, but unfortunately she ended up on the wrong side of the running power bomb, giving them the match. But Himeka even mentioned on the post-match comments that she would like to have more fight mat clashes with her. So she said she found a opponent that fits her needs. So I think that's one of the things. Even someone tweeted this, that Cosmic Angels need a powerhouse, and Yunamata is. I mean, I didn't mention before that Rina Makura is a powerhouse who's aligned with the Cosmic Angels, but we haven't seen her for quite some time. I'm assuming because of the freelancing. So we will probably see that, but we don't know yet. We'll talk about that some other time. Our next match is a revenge match. This is between Utami Ayashida and Atsuko Tora. Now, over a year ago, during when Utami was still the red belt champion, she was in a match against Natsuko Tora, but however, Natsuko Tora torn her ACL. She was out, and there was no doubt that she was going to get her revenge against Utami for costing her. She had to miss out an entire year of not wrestling. But not only that, she has been around, supportive of her of Oda Tai wherever she goes. As you know, while she was out, Starlight Kid was the temporary leader until she came back. But this match was hard hitting, but you know that Utami was in it for a big fight. But however, it was the hijack bomb by Utami that set the deal to allow her to win the match. Now, our next match, I have to say this was a much interesting matchup. We have God's Eye, Konami, who makes her return since May during Golden Fight Week. She teams up once again with her friends from God's Eye, who's also a member too herself, Mirai and Ami Sori, to take on DDM's Mai Sakurai, Tekla, and Julia. Now, Konami and Julia still has their never-ending battle, the war that they have. If you guys remember completely, I'll recap this real quick. Konami had to leave Stardom due to the fact of her health condition. Her final match was against Julia. Now, when the announcement in last spring was announced that Konami was making her return for an entire week of Golden Fight Week, Konami was on 100% positive that Konami will join DDM, and Suri told her nope, she's not doing that. And of course, Konami has no interest. But in a way, I feel like I don't know if Julia still has high hopes, believing that Konami will steal it. Not to mention, Konami stole a pendant from Julia, and Konami teased it and threw it right to the fans. I thought this match was pretty well, but the last time we saw DDM and God's Eye in a clash with each other was back in Fukuoka Goddess Festival back in May. But that match ended with Mirai picking up the win again when she submitted Mai Sakurai. But however, the match ended in time limit draw. When Julia thought she had the match won, it was too late. It was done. But however, the never-ending battle between Julia and Konami still goes on. Julia continues to chase her, and of course, Konami doesn't want nothing to do with her. But I think she's having a little too much fun trying to mess with her. So I think I enjoy that. Our next match is a title match. It's for the CWA title between Alpha Female. If you guys know the history of Stardom, she was the second ever World of Stardom champion, and when she defeated Nanane Takahashi. As you know, she is part of the Neo Stardom army, where they're feeling that Stardom has lost its way because all wrestlers lack passion. So basically, Alpha Female has to face the one person that she knew from the very beginning, Mayu Iwatani, and that was pretty cool to see. And Mayu took every ounce of hits from Alpha Female no matter what, until she did multiple moonsaults on her in order to beat her but also retain the title. So this was her third consecutive victory, retaining the title. But however, during her post match, she made a very shocking decision. Some fans were saying, "What?" You know, she made a decision. She says she wants to relinquish the CWA title and primary focus on the IWGP Women's Championship. Now, some of you may ask me, why is that the difference? Well, the IWGP can serve similar to the CWA, and I think that's probably why. Um, I think many fans are speculating that maybe the possibility is that Mayu could win the finals of the IWGP Women's Championship tournament. So we will see about that. But we don't know what the fate of the CWA title. The last time it was relinquished, this is the second time in 1 year that did happen. Now, keep in mind, Sudi was the previous champ. No, not previous. More of, she was one of the champions who made the decision when she became red belt champion. She relinquished it to focus more on the red belt, and of course, that was that. There was a match between both Mina Shirakawa and Tekla. Tekla won that match, so that kind of sets the tone. Now it's still unclear, but I've been hearing fans are saying probably just deactivate. It's not going to do any good anymore. I don't know for sure if that's the case, but we will see when that happens. Now our next match, we have the Goddesses of Stardom, the tag titles. We have Black Desire of Odatai, Starlight Kid, and Momo Watanabe taking on the current champions Mel Tier, Natsupoi, and Tam Nakano. But as you know, when they do that spectacular opening, they were interrupted by Black Desire. They try to beat them up as possible. Now you know the dirty tactics they pull in every single time. But in this case, Meltier was able to overcome them, but it was Natsupoi with the fairy strain onto Starlight Kid that sealed the deal for them to retain the titles. Now our next match is the Wonder of Stardom, Mina Shirakawa versus Saya Kamitani. I have to say, what a match. Amazing. I have to say Mina has improved a lot this past year, and I feel that happened, but things did not go exactly like many of us expected. I don't know if you probably saw what happened. Kamitani botched the Phoenix Flash. Her foot landed right on the face of Mina, and she started bleeding out. And uh, I'll talk more about that. But of course, Kamitani retained the title. But I'll explain more about the promo in a little bit. And then, of course, Kamitani announced that she wants to give Kyrie another opportunity of the title. Now, keep in mind, she was supposed to have that match recently in Stardom, time Stardom, a couple of months ago, but about a month ago, but it didn't happen. So I think it took place in August. Yes, it was in August. However, Kyrie couldn't make it due to her illness. She also contracted a virus. That was the reason. So that's going to be good. But here's the rub. Kamitani is now 10th victory. She only has one more, and she ties with Momo Watanabe. So we'll talk about that in a bit. And then now our main event is the World of Stardom. We have, of course, Micah versus Sudi. Now Micah does have a win over Sudi during the 5-star Grand Prix, or somewhere down the line. She wants to have, as you know, she feels that she can defeat her, but Micah put up every inch of her ability to try to take Sudi out, but it was that bloody kick that Sudi did, and 1, 2, 3, it was over, just like that. But however, as soon as it was over, a ghost from Sudi's past has come back. Someone who also has a victory over her, and that is Utami Aishida, the one that she defeated. Now, keep in mind, it was Sudi who defeated her last year in December during Dreams Queensdom and that sort of thing. So, apparently, there's going to be a match for that. So, I'm kind of excited for that to see what happens. So, right now, let's move on to the next review, and I believe that is New Japan. But I will talk a little bit on the situation, what took place with Mina and in that match, so we can get a clear eyes view. That's going to take place right after the news updates. Okay, New Japan Pro Wrestling Battle Atom. This took place also today on 3rd. This is day 15. We have Rohi Oiwa and Yuto Nakashima, the Young Lions, taking on the veterans Toru Yano and um, Hiroshi Tanahashi. Now, you probably can guess right away, Yano and Tanahashi won this match, and I believe it was Yano with the no Tanahashi with the Boston Crab onto Nakajima that allowed the match. Nakajima did stated that he was so close trying to get his hands on Tanahashi, possibly next time. Well, you got a long way to go, young lion, so we'll see about that. Next match, we have the United Empire, Gideon Gray and Aaron Hinare taking on GOD's Yado and Hikuleo. So now you probably can guess that this match was going to fall into favors of God because Hikuleo, he's a freaking beast. You know that he is building momentum. As you know, he's trying to, hopefully the day will come when he has to face Carl Anderson for the never open weight title, and I think that sets the tone. But it was an amazing power slam by Ghetto to Gray, I mean to Hikuleo by Gray to pick up the win. However, during the post match, members of the House of Torture, more consistently Yujiro and Sho, attacked him. Now Yujiro has a match against Hikuleo in place of Carl Anderson in hopes they can soften him up before Carl Anderson returns. Next up, we got Tomo, Tomoaki Homna and David Finlay taking on the other members of the United Empire, Grado Khan and Jeff Cobb, who are now more determined than ever to win back the IWGP titles that they lost at Forbidden Door thanks to FTR. But this match was pretty good. But however, it was, of course, a submission move by Grado Khan to Hamna that allowed him to win. But during the post match comments, they're telling the fans that they will vow that they will bring back the titles home to Japan where they rightfully belong. But that match will take place, I believe, on the 5th of November. So we will be waiting for that, and I can't wait to see it. Next up, we got the members of Suzuki-gun, consistent of Doiki, Taichi, and El Desperado, taking on Bullet Club's Geto, Kenta, and Taiji Shimori. Now, keep in mind, Despi and Taiji have a date with Destiny also on the 5th of November for Battle Atom, as you know, putting the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title on the line. That is one of the things why it's taking place. So it tells us that that's the whole point. But however, in this case, it was what's his name, Doiki with the Doki Choiki onto Geto that allowed him to win. But of course, this is also a direct message to Ishimori by Despi that he's coming for that title no matter what. Next up, we got the other members of House of Torture, Dick Togo and Evil taking on Suzuki Goons. Um, what's his name? Dick Togo. No, Kanemaru, Yoshinobu Kanemaru and Zack Sabre Jr. Now, keep in mind, during the semifinals of the um, IWGP World Television Title, Evil and Zack will have to collide, so that's going to be set the tone. Now, I'm going to presume this match will probably take place on the 5th, but the finals will take place on the 20th of November during that historic crossover with Stardom. But the match was pretty good, but it was Kanemaru who picked up the win when he applied the figure four leg lock onto Dick Togo. Togo had no other choice but continue on. Evil and Zack Sabre continued to fight off outside of the ring. As you know, this is going to be a never ending battle. Evil, who's determined to win that belt once and for all. So we will see what happens then. Now, our next two matches are a series of matches involving for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title. We're going to have the Ibushi and Titan versus Francisco Guerra and TJP. However, each of them will get a chance to face their opponent on, how to say, individually. So, Bushi takes on Francisco Guerra. Good match. Francisco seems like he had everything under control, but it was the Magistral by Bushi that allowed him to win. The match. However, Kira was not happy. He's pissed off. The last few weeks, they've been on a losing streak with Lij. They even tried to unmask uh, the Bushi, but luckily Titan showed up to give them the helping hand, and that sets the tone. However, Titan showed up, and they end up with the match between TJP and Titan. I have to say, Titan put up all of his effort, no matter what, to send a statement that those titles will belong to Lij, and this will be the first victory for Titan to team up with Bushi. But it was, of course, the Immortal to seal the deal by Titan to TJP that gave them the win. So that sets the tone. But however, now it appears if I was TJP and Kira, I'd be worried knowing that your title reign could be coming to an end soon by a much stable team, no matter what. Now, our main event, we have Ren Narita, Master Wato, and Alex Zane taking on LIJ's Hiromu Takahashi, Sanada, and Tetsuya Naito. Now, the only storyline in this one is Ren Narita and Sanada will be facing each other in the semifinals of the IWGP World Television Tournament. I thought it was going to be interesting, but it was Naito with the infamous Destino onto Alex Zane that picked up the win. So, right at the end, during the promo, Naito talked about his upcoming match where he has to face Will Ospreay for the IWGP United States title, a title that Will Ospreay feels like he can make it better than Naito, but we'll see what happens. So I can't wait to see that. So right now, I think that's pretty much it what we have for New Japan. I believe it's time for MLW. Okay, finally, after many months, MLW's back. Now, before you ask me, how do I watch MLW? Simple. Go to Pro Wrestling TV. You can register online. It's free, people. It's free. You can watch MLW, AAA, Warrior Wrestling, TNT Extreme Wrestling from the UK, Women's Wrestling Army. I think that's pretty much it, and a few other things. It's free, but also download the app as well. I did mine online first until I download the app. That's what I did. And you can watch everything from there. So that's the information I'm giving you. So if you guys have any questions regarding this, please comment down below and I'm happily to give you more explanation about it. So let's move on with it. It opened up with, of course, the Broly thing with the numbers and all that. We had Power and Hustle consistent with the current tag champions, Calvin Techman and EJ Induka. Uh, we don't know what numbers they picked, but Duka said it was destiny. So that kind of like, wonder what he meant by that. Now, Caesar Duran comes out, give a little promo saying that the winner of the Battle Riot will not get an opportunity because he doesn't want that. He wants someone to beat Hammerstone, and he sent his henchmen, but they failed. And then, of course, here comes Holodead with the chair and whacked him right in the ribs. And of course, we don't know the state of that. Now, if you remember the last time, I talked about how Max Kruger lost in the weapons of mass destruction against Fatu, but in the process of that, he gets disfigured because of the chemical weapon or whatever they were using. So it's still unclear, and he's disfigured. So I don't know. I think they're telling a story. Okay, how is he going to proceed now that all this has changed? But we'll see how that plays out. Now, once again, the Bumaye Fight Club, but these scumbags decided to try to cheat their way to ensure that they win the entire thing for the Battle Riot. Now, it opened up with, ironically, EJ and Duca and Calvin Tankman. I didn't think of it so much, but you had many wrestlers. I mean, you had the Bumaye once again. We had Davey Richards, Warhorse, Sammy Callahan surprisingly showed up. Mance Warner showed up. Uh, Mascara, no, no, Microman, Abismo Negro, a lot of wrestlers. So, who was most likely was to tell? Of course, we had Jacob Fatu and the Samoan SWAT team being there, but it was great. But one thing that led to another is, of course, we saw the Bumaye Fight Club targeted Davey Richards, who was there too, tried to undermine him, but luckily Richards got rid of him, but it ended badly for him when he got eliminated. But it did. But here's the best part of the whole thing. Rio 1, also known as Enzo Amore, tried to win his way. Now, when the referee was knocked out, we thought that the match was over, but apparently, what's his name? A Rio 1, aka Enzo Amore, thought he had this under his control, but Jacob Fatu took advantage of it since the ref did not see it. He took him out completely, and he gets a shot of the opportunity for the MLW World Title. Now, keep in mind, he never got the rematch he wanted, but this is going to be a perfect opportunity for him to obtain it. So I'm happy for that. Now, I think that's pretty much it right now with MLW. I believe it's time for Impact Wrestling. Okay, Impact Wrestling opened up with Eddie Edwards. As you know, he blames PCO for the demise of Honor No More. So he's out in the desert of Nevada waiting for him, said he's going to bury him alive once and for all to make his troubles go away. Well, let's see what happens. But it did happen. He was waiting for him. He just, it went into assault no matter what. They were trying to, I mean, PCO tried to use rocks on him, tried to crush him in one, but it was Eddie Edwards with a shovel that helped them overcome it, then took him out and he buried him. Now, with that, Eddie Edwards believes that he got rid of his problems, but however, you probably would guess somewhere down the line, PCO will rise again. So we just don't know when. Now, our next match is part of the tournament for the X Division first round. Kenny King versus Mike Bailey. Now, Mike Bailey, as you know, he is no longer eligible to how do I say, cash in his rematch clause due to the fact that Frankie Kazarian relinquished his title for option C. Kenny King is determined to win that title, even though he felt that he was robbed. But I thought this match was pretty good with the whole thing. But Mike Bailey somehow, out of all the things he's going, he was able to overturn it against Kenny King, and he advances. But here's the interesting part: his opponent for next week is none other than Trey Miguel, so he has to put his game face against him. Excuse me. Okay, moving on. Last week we saw Giselle Shaw. She messed up in her six-way match. In her six women's tag team match with Green and Perazo. They were not happy with it, so they tell her we're done with her. She does the same thing. I'm like, this is ridiculous. So, however, as soon as Giselle Shaw left, Green knows right now that she may not get the opportunity to concentrate on the tag title as long as Mickie James is involved. But apparently next week, Mickie James will be in the match against Chelsea Green, and Chelsea Green believes that she will be the one to finally send her packing. But however, Mickie James did hear what happened. She did talk to Taylor Wilde, but she said that right now she needs to deal with her, and then hopefully maybe then have that match with Taylor Wilde as soon as possible. Now, our next match, we got Savannah Evans with Tasha Steelz taking on an opponent, and it's gonna be sick. Yep, Jessica showed up. I thought this match was awesome in every aspect because we have two big women, but of course, Steelz, she has to get involved no matter what. They even Taya and Rosemary took care of her, but that wasn't enough until Savannah Evans did a full Nelson slam onto Jessica to pick up the win. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if Steelz and Savannah challenged them for the Knockouts tag team titles. And I do know that Vix do have a rematch clause, so we could expect that too. Now, Killer Kelly was on the prowl looking for some new fresh victims, so she found someone named Sandra, so I'm going to believe it's Sandra Moon. So we'll see what happens. Now, if you guys saw the recent development with Macklin, what's been going on last week, Macklin is a pissed off individual in every aspect. He feels that people are jumping the line straight to Josh Alexander. Like, for example, we have, of course, the Call Your Shot winner, Bully Ray, who can cash in the trophy at any time, any place. Then, of course, we have what was it? Yeah, Bobby Fish, who just went in there. All of this, and of course, there's the option C by Frankie Kazarian. He's sick and tired of it, so he wants his shot now. So that kind of sets the tone, but we'll see what happens. Now we do see the major players, as you know, they're talking, saying that they're going to beat Heath and Rhino and send them packing and claim the titles. But however, Joe Andrews showed up, saying that Brian Myers is not giving too much attention to the digital media title. I thought it was so funny. I just laughed so hard. Uh, okay, so that's pretty much about that. Oh yeah. Now we see Eric Young on our next match, with Diener taking on Sami Callihan. The match was brutal. You know how this is gonna be, and not to mention the X Factor is Diener outside tried to run interference, but the Violent Army showed up, um, out of nowhere, and then they start beating Sammy. I believe this match might have ended in no contest or no DQ. Ref or announcer never said, but two individuals that come out of this army were surprisingly Alan Angels, formerly known as Five, and Big Khan, one of the guys from the Ascension from WWE. So it appears that now they align themselves with um, Eric Young, and that they're going to terrorize the entire division. That's how the entire thing. Now, I mentioned Giselle Shaw. As you know, she is so proud of herself that she took a photo with the Knockouts title, and of course, Jordan Grace told Jai Vidal, who's helping her out, telling her that if she wants a title shot, all she had to do was ask. So that kind of sets in the whole thing. So now our next match we have Moose versus Ace Austin. I thought this match was pretty good, but in the process, I like how Bully Ray cost Moose the match. Now keep in mind, Moose thinks right now um that Bully Ray is a scumbag, that he's a liar. Now Alexander has been hearing people left and right not to trust Bully Ray, including the Motor City Machine Guns. So that kind of sets it. So the obvious question is, okay, is he really being legit about it, or is he lying about it? We don't know. So we'll get to that some other time. Now our next match we have Aussie Open, Mark Fletcher and Mark Davis taking on uh, Frank Kazarian and Josh Alexander. Now, you probably would have assumed they would not get along, but the match was pretty good. I think it was amazing. Not to mention every moment we saw, even the wives of both competitors were there with their kids. I thought that was pretty amazing. But it was Frank Kazarian with the springboard cutter that allowed him to pick up the win. So it was a good one. I enjoyed the whole thing. So it was a lot of fun. So I think that's pretty much it with Impact. So let's move on with news updates. All right, welcome to our news update. So let's get started. Starting with GCWs. As you know, we have the Aurora event taking place on the 20th of this month of November. Ninja Mac makes his return. He will be in action. I'm sure he's going to show off his brand new GHC Junior Heavyweight title. Yes, folks, he won that title against Hayata. I thought it was pretty good. I haven't seen the event, but I'm looking forward to it. Also, on that very particular day, the GCW tag team titles will be on the line. Los Macizos versus Waves and Curls. I'm so excited for that because Waves and Curls are a good team to watch. Now, more updates regarding on GCW's latest event, where it's going to take place in LA on December 16th for America's Most Wanted. Commander and Addis have been signed to this particular event. I'm looking forward to that too. Then finally, Willie Mack will be making his appearance once again to GCW on both weekend double headers for the New Year's Eve. What's it called? Till Infinity and 56 Nights. So he will be involved in both shows. Now, uh, Prestige Wrestling has announced for upcoming debuts in their upcoming events. Casey Navarro was announced that he will be making his debut in Prestige for Things We Carry on the 30th of December, and Jacob Fatu will also be making his debut with Prestige on Vendetta on the 21st of January of 2023. I'm looking forward to that. I'm way too excited. Now, more debuts at other promotions. We have Ali Catch, who will be making her debut with West Coast Pro Wrestling for Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge on the 4th of February of 2023. Now, JCW, Jersey Championship Wrestling, announced for their series of survival events, Lucha Extrema, we have Team Gringo, consistent with the Macizos and El Cholanco, taking on, uh, what's his name? Sawyer Wreck, Jimmy Lloyd, and the Iron Beast. So that's pretty much what I've been hearing. And also, continuing on, I believe we have, of course, a announcement coming for their upcoming events by ICW No Holds Bars at Rise that will take place between the 10th and the 12th of February at Leeds, England. We're going to have this guy Struggles making his appearance there too. Looking forward. Now, as you know, recently we talked about how GCW and Wrestling Revolver now involved throwing their content into the in Fight TV for $4.99. It just appears now. The Black Label Pro will do the same thing, and I'm like pretty exciting. So if we have GCW, um, Wrestling Revolver, and a few others, so I'm excited for that too. It's gonna be $4.99 if you guys are big fans of that. So just letting you guys know. So I think that's pretty much it. I believe let's try to end this by talking about the situation with Mina. I feel like there's a lot of things that needs to be discussed before we jump into serious conclusion. Okay, let's talk about the situation that took place with Mina Shirakawa in her match against Sai Kamitani for the white belt. Now, I saw the video and I watched it over and over. It was a botched position. Now, one of the a serious thing that's happened is this. Kamitani tried to pull off the Phoenix Splash, but for some odd reason, the timing didn't land right. Apparently, her foot, like the back of her heel, hit Mina right here. Now, I couldn't see clearly, but someone took a photo. Her teeth were inward, her jaw was busted. She was bleeding. I just felt bad for her. And many fans felt it's been the talk all over Twitter over this, and I feel sad that not only she lost the match, but more that she has to go through this. And this is the second time in her career she's been injured. The first time she was injured was back in December 26th of 2020, which ironically was her birthday. That injury resulted of her nose being broken thanks to Julia during a match between Cosmic Angels and DDM, and that was Julia's mess that she caused. But right now, because of this situation that took place, many fans are now having thoughts about what the hell happened. Some people are saying Kamitani did this intentionally. Others say, look, it was an accident. She messed up. Yes, but there's talk about this. Kamitani had pulled two botches of the Phoenix Splash. One guy commented, and I have to agree with him on this level. He said, why didn't she try a different move the second time? Like, try something different. And it makes perfect sense because he said that she tried the first time she botched, but this time it didn't. This time it didn't work at all. And that's also a good thing to hear because why didn't she think that way? And I just can't believe the whole thing happened. And in Kamitani right now, I feel that her state of mind, she couldn't even say anything for the promo. I think she felt responsible for this. And who knows how her mental state goes. We have wrestlers who realize they screwed up. Like, for example, Rey Mysterio, if you guys remember, a couple years ago in Mexico, in Tijuana, he was in a match with, I forgot who his tag partner was. He was facing Suicide and Beto Aguayo Jr., but Beto Aguayo Jr. died in the ring. And Ray got in the mentality that it was his fault. And I'm not sure if that's what Kamitani feels right now with herself, knowing that is she really responsible for what she did? We don't know. Now, if I was the Stardom officials, I would review this match because I feel something went wrong while she was trying to apply the Phoenix Splash. Now, the reason she does this move was because she idolized Kota Ibushi. Now, Kota Ibushi has done this move many times, but that one time he injured his shoulders. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if Stardom makes the decision that, okay, the Phoenix Splash banned from ever being used. I wouldn't be surprised on that. But we just don't know about how they're going to address this. I've been on Twitter the entire time waiting for Stardom to make a decision. But I'm going to presume that they're waiting to make that decision until they get the prognosis on Mina, on how she's doing. Now, I saw closely that she lost her teeth, like right here, her lower teeth. I'm just, whoa. I don't know if she'll be beautiful as she ever was before, but I hope she does. And that really, and of course, many fans are hoping that hopefully by next year she becomes the white belt champion. She definitely deserves that, and fans are hoping that's what she needs to do. But we don't know how long she'll be out because right now, at the moment, keep in mind, Unagi is not with Stardom at this point because she's going freelancing. If I was Stardom, I would definitely try to have Colors step in to help out because right now at this moment with Colors, Hikari Shimizu, she is in Mexico at the moment. The only people who could possibly be available right now is Saki, Yuko Sakurai, and Rina Amikura. Those are the only three they can try to rely on. But others said they should get Yuna Mizumori to fill in too. I say that could work too, but we don't know yet. I'm like I said, I've been waiting to find out what is the prognosis, what is the verdict, how long she's going to be out. Because many fans would love to see her come back and hopefully win the white belt, and that is something that she is desiring to have, and hopefully she gets it sooner when she is fully recovered, like 100%. So I don't know what you guys' opinions on this situation, but I hope that Stardom reviews this match and hopefully makes a decision because that's what it is. Like, remember what happened with Brock Lesnar? He pulled off a shooting star press, he missed, and he got a concussion out of that. I wouldn't be surprised that if they ban that move, the same thing the WWE did with the shooting star press. So we'll just have to find out, and if there's new information, I'll review that sooner before I upload this video, and hopefully that is. So I think right now we just covered everything else, so let's just call it a day. Okay, our next episode we're going to feature AEW Rampage and NXT Level Up. Now I haven't decided what's going to be for others that I'm going to review. I yet to see some others that I haven't managed to see, but I'll find out sooner or later. So I'll just wing it for all of you. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wing it. So I think that's pretty much it what I'm going to do. So I'll see you guys on the next episode. So I must bid all of you adieu. So goodbye. Mwah. And have a nice day. Bang.